Okay, so fun backstory to this.
Yeah.
There's a Sidewalk issue 100. They knew I was filming with Tom, skating with Tom a lot, and they were basically saying, like, hey, can you make sure if there's a photographer there, can you try and get a good photo? Because we'd love... Tom was on their issue number 1. So they wanted Tom on issue number 100 as kind of a thing.
Amazing.
And I had a couple of months heads up, so every time I was out filming with Tom, and he was staying in Orange County at that time, had an apartment down on the beach.
This is number 1?
Yeah, exactly. That was a Wig Warland shot, I believe, Radlands. Yeah, so there was this kind of challenge, like, hey, can you make sure a photographer gets a picture of Tom? Skating with Tom is like, you know, you never know what's going to happen kind of thing, and whenever there was a photographer, it just never worked out for what it, you know, just wasn't working out, and the deadline was approaching, and so I started bringing a film camera to take photos with me, because I was like, well, if no one happens to be around.
Okay.
It just seemed that whenever no one else was there and it was just me and him, he would get tricks. And so I was like, well, maybe he just wants it chill, and like, I don't know, so I just started bringing my camera around and trying to remember how to take photos again.
Right.
So there's a bunch of duds before this one showed up. We ended up going to Austin, Texas for a shop signing, me, him, and Heath Kirchart. Pretty random trio.
Okay.
Just
epic.
for a weekend. And the entire weekend, it poured down. It was like late November, and it poured down with rain super hard, as hard as rain, you know, you can imagine. So we didn't get to skate anything, but I think one evening, me and Heath went to like this new indoor skate park that they built and skated some bowl for a bit. But that was about as much skating as we did. They did the shop signing. We were there for like 2 days, kind of like, the idea was like, oh, well, you're there, you're going there, stay for the weekend and get some footage of these guys. And I didn't put the trip together, it was just like thrown on me. So I'm there with those guys, and in the parking lot of the hotel, the multi-story, as you went around the levels, every up level divider had these walls with a circle in them. And I was like, man, I bet you could fit through that thing, you know?
Okay.
And so the whole weekend we're there, coming and going, doing our thing, I kept seeing these things, and I was like, Tom, man, I bet you could jump through that, I bet you could jump through that. So the last day before we checked out, he'd just been sitting in the hotel room the entire time, just chilling, because he didn't want to do anything. He didn't have to. And so I finally prized him off the bed and said, hey, you know, come on, go check this thing out. And he hopped through that thing maybe like 12, 15 times.
Really?
No problem. We filmed it. It's in the beginning of Flip Extremely Sorry part, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah. And I shot long lens. There's a couple of actually fisheye shots where I moved the flashes around and did like a full red aesthetic. He gave me a bunch of tries at it, and then one time he clipped his hand on the wall, and he's like, "Oh, I'm done," you know. So
Okay.
that was it. But scored the cover, and
Sick.